The Pasadena Museum of History exists to preserve the art, culture, and history of Pasadena and the West San Gabriel Valley. We house the largest existing photographic archive of Pasadena, estimated at 1 million prints and negatives. In 2012, we were awarded a grant that allowed for a preservation study. It was concluded that our current storage situation is not equipped for long-term preservation or archival storage of our massive collection of negatives, some of which are invaluable. The older negatives, estimated in the hundreds of thousands, are deteriorating and off-gassing. The damage is often irreversible. Photo negatives are highly sensitive to temperature, and our preservation study concluded that, in their current conditions, the older collections will be completely deteriorated within 20 years. However, it can be stopped.
The mission of the museum is to promote an appreciation of the history, art, culture, science relevant to Pasadena and its surrounding communities. But in order to promote, we must first preserve. These at-risk negatives are vital to the museum as resources for our exhibits and programs, and as resources for external research.
When we conducted our preservation study, it was determined that digitizing the entire collection would be just monumentally expensive and time-consuming. Not to mention that even if the image is digitally stored, the negative will still decay and off-gas, and this gas is dangerous for the other artifacts and for the archivists working to preserve them. And we can preserve them with freezers.
The negatives that are prior to 1970 are chemically unstable. So that means they're breaking down and deteriorating and off-gassing as they do that, and they're taking out other artifacts. If we freeze them, we render them chemically stable. And they're inert, and we're preserving them. This is a fabulous collection of historic photographs and negatives related to the history of Pasadena. It's so important to us to save these negatives. They tell us so many stories about the city. We estimate that each freezer installation will cost the museum about $3,000. And this is why we're reaching out to you, the public, to help fund this Kickstarter campaign to preserve Pasadena's historic negatives. These negatives are so important to our community, and with your support, we can make them last for generations. Thank you.